Alrighty, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Just had a little bit of a chat here, but just going to go over today everything to do with our nutrition, what that looks like with your training, how we can best support you. One of the things we did send out in my email yesterday was just a little questionnaire that quite a lot of you have filled out. Just gives us a better understanding of where you're at, what your training, your obstacles, and what your nutrition looks like, or what you might need help with. The more that we know about you, the more that we can help you over this 28 days. Christmas, obviously a lot of eating out, a lot of drinking, a lot of not training. We are open every day. We have a class timetable throughout the Christmas holidays. We're open Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Please come in and train as much as you like. For us now, we're going to go over your current diet and what that looks like, setting up and tracking your food. As I mentioned, there's meal plans, there's meal companies to deliver your food. I believe the more that I can understand food as an energy system, the better off I'm going to be long-term to be able to look at food and understand that's going to fuel my body in a positive way, not really a negative way, but I just might need to control sort of portions or what that looks like in my lifestyle. All different ages, all different shapes, and that's going to affect all of us a little bit differently. Being in a calorie deficit and training around that, our daily energy breakdown, so our expenditure and intake. Low calorie, high protein is something that we really believe in, and we'll touch on that. And what our meal prep and meal swapping. Meal swapping for me is a lifesaver in terms of still being able to eat your normal food, being able to change small bits and pieces throughout your day of what that looks like and how that works. For a lot of you, you would have heard of MyFitnessPal. It's something we heavily believe in. It can be a little bit daunting at the start when you first download MyFitnessPal. It's free. You can log in via Facebook, so you don't even have to really make too much of an account. If you want to grab your phone and start looking at that, we will touch on this and we will come back to this throughout the challenge through my emails, what this looks like and how it works. MyFitnessPal, you're able to input barcodes, you're able to input food, you're able to input alcohol, water, all these things that impact what our nutrition looks like and how that affects us. This app is absolutely phenomenal. If you don't use it, what we're trying to do is establish a short-term routine so then we can long-term know where our food looks like. We can start to eyeball stuff and have a bit of an understanding. This isn't about tracking for the rest of your life and inputting every single thing that you do for the whole rest of your life. We want to do this short term so we can understand long term of what that looks like. MyFitnessPal, when you log in, after that, it's going to give you a bit of a cue on your goals. It's going to set your weight, your age. I think it does height as well. It's going to then help set either lose weight, maintain weight, or gain weight, and then your lifestyle and activity as well. We might be able to all eat the same food. I'm very lucky I'm on my feet all day. Some of you may sit at a desk all day and not move. That's going to heavily impact the amount of calories that we burn, what we can eat throughout the day, and sort of how our body adapts and adjusts to that. If you don't, these are can be inaccurate at times. Watch is the best thing you can possibly do to have a rough gauge of your calories and your steps, your energy output throughout the day. I've done 7,000 steps already this morning and it's 8 a.m. If you can understand where your body is throughout the day rather than guessing, you're going to have a lot better gauge of how much energy that you're utilizing throughout the day. That's going to come important when we're able to track our food and see how much energy we're putting into our body every day. If I can track what's going in but I can't see what's going out, it's a bit of a guessing game. If I can see what's coming in and know what's going out, I'm going to have a lot better of idea of what's going in, what energy I'm using in my body and what I'm putting out throughout the day, rather than this big guessing game that is, I guess, nutrition. MyFitnessPal, after we download the app, we're able to input our food, and it's going to set calories. You would have had probably a bit of an understanding of I should be eating 1,200 calories a day as a female. 1,200 calories a day is a sort of old-fashioned stay-at-home housewife that does a little bit of cooking and cleaning, doesn't really do too much. That's very, very low calories. I think it's thrown around a lot. So I was trying to, again, understand as I'm repeating myself that everybody's different on this. When we come to this, and we'll have a bit of a play around after, this is going to enable us to input food as we go throughout the day. It gives me my output throughout the day, so how much fats, carbs, and carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates I've had throughout the day, which is going to be our calorie intake, which we're going to touch on. Any questions so far? Macronutrients, macros. These are the only 3 ways that you can use energy within your body. Yes, there's fiber. Yes, there's sugar. Yes, there's salt. These are the only 3 things outside of a thyroid issue or a medical issue that you can put energy into your body. Carbohydrates, we'd all roughly know what those are. It's more of our starchy foods we've got up there, our vegetables, pumpkin, potato. Our proteins, obviously looking more at that meat side of things, and fats on the other side, sort of those good fats, bad fats on the other side. The only three ways that we can put energy into our body are these three things. You can eat as much sugar as you like. These are the only things that will impact that. I know that, again, a bit controversial, but we will touch on that and what that looks like. What is protein? Most important macronutrients. It's going to keep us fuller for longer. It's going to keep our muscles repairing after we've done our workouts. Protein-rich food, again, as it keeps full up for longer, and it's crucial for that weight loss period. Again, if I'm fuller for that longer period of time, I'm not looking for those extra things in the afternoon. I think I was speaking to a couple of yesterday, looking for that snack in the afternoon, or trying to, I guess, fill that plate just full of other foods or snacks after dinner. Carbohydrates, everyone knows sort of what a carb is. The primary macronutrient, it's the thing we eat the most of. Grains, pastas, more of that starchy food, most vegetables, and our fats. Help regulate hormones. They're on that higher side in the calorie-wise. They're our highest macronutrient that we'll go into, which will be on this one. This is where that maths comes in. I'm horrible at maths. It makes it a lot easier to understand once you can get these three key points under your belt. Every gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories. Every gram of protein has 4 calories. Every gram of fat has 9 calories. So if I was to have avocado on toast compared to tuna on toast, I can see there with that fats in my avocados, it's going to be a lot higher in calories. Does that mean it's bad for us? No. Does that mean that throughout the day I might have to change something else to work towards my goal because I'm trying to hit a calorie limit? Probably yes. I'm probably going to have to look at that a little bit more. So if I'm eating chocolate and it's got a high amount of fats in it, reading those barcodes and understanding what is in our food is going to make it a lot easier. Most of us should be able to do a rough calculation in our head and looking at the back of packages that we'll do. This is what MyFitnessPal does for us. You're not standing in a shopping center reading back of packages, trying to do the calculation. No one's got time for that. It's a good tool to use and understand, but this is going to make it a lot easier to understand what's going on in our food. The thing that I like about this, everyone thinks carbs are bad. Everyone's like, oh, it's a huge plate of pasta. It's got the exact same amount of calories as my protein. Yes, my protein will keep me fuller for a bit longer, help with muscle repair, but my carbohydrate isn't this bad thing that everyone thinks it's the worst thing in the world. Oh, I had pasta for dinner tonight, I'm that bad. Look, if your pasta serve wasn't 3 plates and you've got a good amount of protein with it, probably the olive oil and then the cheese, that's the fat, that's probably going to be the worst thing for you on that plate. So the more that I can understand that that's probably where I'm gaining those calories, or that's where those extra calories are coming from. My pasta dish with meatballs and then 17 liters of cheese on the top, it's probably not the pasta that's doing those bad things to us. And it might be swapping that pasta for something similar that's going to allow us to still enjoy that food without feeling like, oh, I can't eat this, or I can't eat potatoes, or I can't have chips. They're not as bad as what we think they are.
Sorry, how does sugar work? How many calories a gram of sugar?
I will go over that, but at the moment, how sugar's digested is a little bit different as such, but you've got to think as these as petrol, diesel, and gas. The sugar's the air in your tire. So yes, it's a part of it, but these are the main things that keep your fuel or your body running as such. Sugar will usually transfer to fat, and that's where we get those calories from. It's probably the easiest way to describe it. Daily energy breakdown. So then we've got our energy intake. We've got our carbs, fats, and proteins of how we can intake. How do we exert our energy? So pretty much all of you just did boot camp just then. So boot camp, you've done fitness, you've trained, you've gone to the gym, you've gone for a walk, whatever that may be. Any other ways that we can work out? And any other ways we can burn energy?
Moving.
Beautiful. Sleeping's huge. You're going to use so many calories sleeping. You're asleep for 8 hours, roughly. If you have a baby, you don't. So there's multiple different ways we can burn. When we eat exactly the same as we burn, hopefully we understand we're all going to stay the same. We're going to maintain weight. That's not going to change at all. And that's usually what most of us do. We get to a stage in our life where we're in a routine. We eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We might have something at work or something on the weekend every so often. My energy stays the same. I get on the train, I hop off, I walk to work, I go to work, I leave. That doesn't change. Not one day it works a little bit different than the other. It's very usually similar. Things that can change that: weight gain. Beautiful, been decent throughout the week, done pretty well. Tuesday is Melbourne Cup. Do you reckon you guys are probably going to have a drink and probably going to have that? Beautiful. Do I start looking at that now, being like, okay, probably can't have a bottle of wine tonight or today over Friday, Saturday, because I've got Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. Tuesday I've had 10 beers, a bottle of wine. Wednesday comes, I've already had a drink yesterday. Probably going to have a drink today. Energy input, energy expenditure. My energy expenditure isn't there anymore. I've put so much into my body that's far going to outweigh what I've done throughout the week. I'm going to gain weight. There's no other way about it. Again, unless there's a thyroid issue or anything, that's the only way that I can gain weight. If you've done 15 gym sessions and you've done that, that's going to outweigh, you're going to lose weight. The other end of that, your energy expenditure is greater than your energy input. You've had a good week of eating. You've trained 3 or 4 times. That's slowly going to come off. Again, it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be probably that day. It's not that day. It's going to come over a period of time on that tracking. It's going to start fading down. But again, every weekend we've probably got something on. You have work events. Someone brings something into the office. It's someone's birthday. Australia, very big drinking culture. You don't really go out for dinner and no one drinks. Everyone drinks. It's very normal. And that's where we've got to understand that I need to do this over a long period of time to understand where my body is. The only way that I can do this is tracking my food, tracking my energy expenditure. So what goes in and what goes out. If I don't track that, I am just guessing. I had a good week, okay? If you go back and look at it, the Melbourne Cup came, I had 3 sausage rolls and 1 glass of wine. Then I got an Uber home, so I didn't walk to the train station. I didn't walk home. I didn't go get the kids from football. Those small things there add up so much over that period of time. The only 4 ways that we can expend energy. My BMR, everyone's BMR is a little bit different. It does change as we get a little bit older. BMR is the calories you burn doing nothing. If I laid in bed all day, awake or asleep, and did nothing, my organs need to function. They don't do that without using energy. Yes, that's on the lower side, but my BMR, I think for myself, and I've had it tested, I believe throughout the day, give or take 1,300 calories my body uses to just keep me alive throughout the day in 24 hours. So that's, if I laid there and did nothing all day, sat still and breathed, I'd burn 1,300 calories. My physical activity, you've just all trained. Kelly just mentioned just before, our NEAT or our non-exercise activity. You go home, got to mow the lawn, bang, mow the lawn, come home, then I vacuum a little bit. You're burning energy. You're actually moving there, and it's probably more than what you think. That last one, we do burn energy when we are eating food. It's not a huge amount. Your body does have to process and digest with that. So you are burning calories on that. I don't think it's on my next page. Which one's going to be our top? Which one? What's going to burn the most amount of calories? Touching that one more time. I'll actually go back to that. My base metabolic rate is going to burn the most amount of calories throughout your day by 70%, again, give or take, estimated there, give or take, 60 to 70%, I'd call that. BMR can change. The more muscle mass you carry, the more calories you're going to burn throughout the day. Less muscle mass you carry, the least amount you're going to carry. BMR, obviously here, really affects what we do over that 24-hour period. The next one, again, this is controllable long-term, but probably isn't controllable right now. What was that one? Do you remember? Beautiful. The second biggest is that daily activity level. This is changeable. It can be difficult if you do sit at a desk all day. Sort of hand up, do most of you sit at a desk all day, give or take? Like if we call it 70% of the day, ass on chair. If I'm sitting down all day and walking to the drink tap and walking back, as I just said, I'm at 7,000 steps on the dot there. It's going to be very difficult for you to sort of change and alter your NEAT. We can make clear, concise decisions to alter that though. That is parking a little bit further away or making sure that we are we at a standing desk? Is it every 20 minutes we have to walk up and down the office? It sounds a bit stupid, but it is something that can really change and alter what we do. That thing on steps though, people always seem to be like 10,000 steps is the perfect number. Is there a perfect number? No, not really. Everyone's different, as I keep saying. If we can alter that and get an understanding of where we are now though, and know that I roughly do 4,000 steps a day, that's something that I can change and alter. I know I can take that to 6,000. I know I can take that to 12,000, whatever that might be. I know that I can alter and change that. Thanks, Cal. Have a good morning. Our TEF, thermic energy breakdown. And our last one here, that exercise. So that exercise is actually the last part and a very minute percent of how we burn and utilize our calories throughout the day. It's sometimes hard to understand, and when you look at that, you're like, oh, I train so much. That must be, when you're training, your steps are up, you're making those clearer decisions to eat better food. That training absolutely impacts what we do here. We can see here the part of the bigger picture is I've got to make better decisions throughout my day rather than just I went to the gym, box tick, do nothing for the rest of the day. You're at the gym for sort of 45 minutes, give or take. Let's call it 4 days a week. Any questions on that actually? Mate, it's when I first saw that when I was young, I'm like, that can't be right. I train this much, I do this. Very, very odd. So again, BMR can be altered. More muscle mass does change a little bit with age. You can get it tested. There are calculators online. They're going to give you a rough percentage. The test is almost like putting an asthma puffer on it. You breathe for a minute and it gives you a rough BMR reading. But again, as we understand, if I can control my NEAT, which is that 20% sitting just above that, I'm able to make some really good changes throughout without changing my food. I can do nothing with my food and lose weight by changing that second box there, that NEAT. If I park a little bit further away from work and change that, if I do an extra set of stairs instead of taking the lift, if I do that little bit of cardio before I do a class, I'm coming in 5 minutes early, they're those clear decisions that I'm going to make throughout my day that are going to impact long-term throughout my week without touching my diet, full stop at all. You will lose weight. End of story. Confusing, annoying, how they're written. We do tend to use kilojoules a lot more in Australia. 1 calorie is 4 kilojoules. I'll just call it flat 4. The easiest way to read this is looking at the 100-gram measurement. Once we learn to read labels, the good thing is with MyFitnessPal is you can scan the barcode and you don't have to read a label. I'm going to say 99% of foods, you just scan the barcode unless it's something really specific. You should be pretty good on there. So again, energy, I'm coming down to my protein. How many, so for, let's call it 8 grams of protein, how many calories per gram were in protein? 4. So 4 calories per gram. Can someone do some maths on 8? Bang. Oh, you're doing decimals. Okay. Bang. So we got 32. Fat. Almost the same. Perfect. Thank you. Awesome. 9. Go on. 72 plus 30. Was it 6? No, 32. Bang. 4, 8, 9. How many calories? 48. Beautiful. No, sorry, it takes us to 104 plus 48, 152. 152? Yeah. Calories? Beautiful. 6 calories. This is milk. Yep. Pasteurized and home, full cream. Yeah, full cream milk. Alrighty. How do we know if my cup's 100 mil, 250 mil, 300 mil? This is where it gets really difficult of understanding and having a look at what that is when it comes to probably more so you things like a cereal, milk, where you're tipping things in, and that's where it gets quite hard. And people are like, oh, you have to weigh your food. I know that sucks to say. If you can look at weighing or looking what your food is for a short period of time, you are able to eyeball it long term. I don't want you to weigh your food for the rest of your life. I don't want you to do it for even a month. It might just be going, do you know what? Over the next 28 days, I'm going to get a bit more of an understanding of the key foods I eat. So if you know that you have peanut butter on toast every single morning, and my serving size is 20 grams, weigh 20 grams out, and I promise you, you'll be probably having 100 grams. 20 grams is going to be like this much peanut butter. I promise you, we're lathering that up, and that's where I'm going, oh, I had one piece of peanut butter on toast. Peanut butter's got a lot of fat in it, 9 calories per gram, already there. I'm well above where I think I am. And if I don't track, I don't know. It's tedious and it can be a little bit annoying at the start, and it feels like a bit of a chore. It's almost learning like another language at the same time. How you just did that with maths, I have no idea, but I can do that with food. I can't do that with maths. So exactly, yeah. So understanding that this is a short term, and right now it's probably like, I'm super motivated. I'm going to go home and do that. I'm going to look at my food, and you just don't do it. So it's having that little bit of expectation on yourself and a little bit of self-accountability to go home and be like, I know I eat X every single day. I'm going to make my decisions on peanut butter at breakfast. I always eat. I always have pasta for dinner, and I always love Coke at lunchtime. I'm going to have a look at what those 3 things are, and I'm going to see what my serving size is. Instead of just tipping a Coke into a glass, oh yeah, I had a can of Coke. Next thing, it's 3 liters. It's going to make a big difference throughout your day of what you're putting into your body. We're doing that throughout the day and then training the same every day. I'm going to start gaining weight if I cannot understand where I am. Meal prep, meal planning, meal prep, a couple of different ways to do this. I don't like planning my meals out for the week. That's not me. Other people love planning for the week. Some people freeze their meals for the month. Everyone does what they want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just understanding what this is and how this looks, and not trying to alter off that. The only thing I don't like about sort of the meal planning and the meal prepping is that when something changes, someone's birthday at lunch, Melbourne Cup, we're going here, we're going to the pub, you've got these meals at home that you've prepped and cooked, you don't really know what you're doing, and it's like, oh, I'm going to treat myself. That's where I find it can get a little bit funny of falling off track. I feel like when we can understand food and what's in my food, I can make conscious, clear decisions no matter where I am. Doesn't matter if it's Subway, doesn't matter if it's McDonald's, doesn't matter if it's the healthiest restaurant out there. I can still make decisions on what I'm doing around my meal planning. Having, especially probably multiple kids, doing your shopping on a Sunday, doing meal prep, this might work for a lot of you. Being single, sitting at home, probably might not matter at all. Meal prepping, meal planning, day to day versus the thought of aligning out the whole week. No right or wrongs here. A couple of people do the night before, so you cook dinner, then have that next day for lunch. That works really well, and it's going to save measuring, weighing, and understanding what's going in your food. You can have a look at what works best for the week there. But again, just making sure we understand that I'm probably going to have events throughout the week, month, year that are going to impact that and around that. Look at our meal prep and lunch ideas if this does work back for you. My biggest swap hack that we'll go over towards the end a little bit more, I've got the name of it on my phone there, the Coles low carb Simpson or Samson wraps. I had 4 of them for dinner last night. They've got no carbs in them at all. They're really, I think they're 13 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs for a wrap. Awesome way to drop those carbs really quickly and still get a good amount of protein in. The food swapping here is personally what I find the easiest when it comes to the daily, how much energy am I inputting, how much energy am I exporting out of my body. Look at this, I'm always looking for a protein source. I'm always looking for a small carb source, a carb source, and I'm also looking for a small fat source. So that higher protein, low fat diet that we mentioned just earlier today of what that looks like. I don't need to go through all of these each meal. The biggest thing is understanding that each of these meals will have a good, decent amount of protein in it And not all of them have to be cooked from scratch. They're not all these sirloin steaks that have to be done over the barbecue or anything like that. It can just be sliced meat from the deli. You can buy it by the bunch, by the gram. It's really easy to do. We don't want you to sit there in the kitchen and make these big complicated meals. We want quicker, easier things that you can do. Then you can change, I guess, what that looks like day to day. If you want to do your big meal prep, go for gold. But this allows us to have a bit of flexibility and understand that, look, I'm not looking at a huge amount of calories here. I'm just looking at, okay, protein, tick, carb, tick, fat, tick, bang. No hands, not allowed to put your hand up.
I'm sorry. A fat source, but I've heard that not all calories are equal. So, for example, you've got avocado there rather than.
They're going to have better oils in them. So your avocado, that essential oil, like as you talk about cholesterol, that good fats, bad fats. I wouldn't necessarily worry about that too much at the moment. Are you eating a tub of butter a day? If you are, I'd probably be more worried about that. A lot of us shouldn't be too worried unless I'm at McDonald's every day eating hot chips cooked in oil every single day. I wouldn't be too worried about, my fat in an avocado is the exact same amount of calories as fat in a chip. If I got 20 grams of avocado and 20 grams of chips, they're going to be the exact same calories on fat, just on my fat. Don't get me wrong, cholesterol in my body and long-term effects of having chips every day there's definitely going to be an effect, but in terms of calories, zero difference. Zero difference fat in an avocado and McDonald's. Doesn't matter which way you want to put it, fat's fat, and it's 9 calories per gram.
From the weight perspective, but not from the health perspective.
Correct. From an energy input perspective, correct. So fuel going into your body, if I was at the fuel pump and there was the McDonald's line and the avocado line, they're exact same dollar per pump. Doesn't matter what you say. It's a maths equation, no way about it. So, any questions on that, guys? Dinners. I send this all out as well, so I might move past this. You ready, Mass Boy? Okay.
But I've tracked the calories.
I'll have you. Okay.
You learn to do the math in your head.
Something probably very, very a common food. 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. We'll look at the intake after. Pardon me. 200 calories per 100 grams for my 5-star beef mince. 0 carbs. 7.5 grams of fat times 9. 32 grams of protein. I come down, I've got the tiniest bit of carbs there, 1.5 grams. Really not too worried about that, but it's definitely worth having a look. All of a sudden, I've just doubled my fat intake. What was it, 52 before, did you say?
No, 63.
63, so we're looking at 120. We're doubling. And pretty much spot on the same amount of protein. So all then, I've just doubled the amount of fat that I've had in my day and the amount of calories there. So what was it again? Sorry?
You went from 63 to
20 something. So already there, I've had 120 calories just in that I don't have in that. Come again. I've over doubled, just under doubled, sorry. Again, and my protein's a little bit lower in my beef mince just there. So without changing anything, if I'm just going from my beef mince, lean 4-star to 5-star, if you do nothing in your whole life but change that for dinner once a week, you will lose weight. It'll take time because it's minute. If you change nothing, you will lose weight. So all of a sudden, I go from 4 to 5. Yep, sorry, there you are. There you are. So I've also got 4 grams of an extra 4 on top of that, or just over. I then come across What's our lowest up there at the moment? 43, second in. Almond Breeze. Has anyone had almond breeze before? Tastes like shit. It's disgusting. So again, if I went from going to a full cream milk, that's got 164 calories. So I've got 12 grams. We won't go through all the mass every time, but we've got 12 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat, and 8.8 grams of protein. My protein is actually not too bad in that. But if I'm looking at energy intake, my energy intake that I'm putting into my body, and I'm trying to lose weight, all of a sudden, I have 2 coffees a day every day. Would everyone have roughly 2, 3 more? If I swap 1 coffee, have 1 full cream in the morning, that's my fun one, and then I have 1 with almond breeze, all of a sudden, that's a third of my calories pretty much just there that I can do nothing and lose weight. Nothing, 0 changes. I can lose weight. So all of a sudden, I've swapped my beef mince from 4 to 5. I've gone from my normal milk down to almond breeze. All right, that's really not fun. I don't love that too much. I might go to my So Good. That's going to taste a little bit better. So just there, again, I'm still half what I would be doing there in my day. 2 coffees a day, across my 7 days, I'm having 14 coffees. All of a sudden, I've half the amount of calories there. Bang, another thing changed. So we can start to see, even without meal prepping, without meal planning, I can reduce and make certain changes on things that are going to make a hell of a difference. Same brand. I have sauce on everything. I'll have sauce on Nutrigrain. I have sauce on every single meal. I absolutely love it. No Queppy mayo. If you've got Queppy mayo in your house or sushi, throw it out. It's got so many calories, you wouldn't believe it. Fountain barbecue sauce is not great. It's what I have at home. Fountain, it's the cheapest one. It's not the best tasting, but it's way better. So again, I go from Fountain normal, 226 calories. I think this is a 20-gram serve. It doesn't have it up there for me. That's good to know. You're not using a 20-gram serve. I'm using half the bottle most of the time on everything. I go to reduced salt. There's no difference in taste between these two. Is that over double? I think so. Bang. So just there, my calories, again, without swapping anything, I've just made 1 change in the house. I'm going to lose weight no matter what I do. Same meal every night. I have pasta, protein, have meatballs with it or chicken with it, and I just add barbecue sauce. Anyone have barbecue sauce? Bang, I've lost weight. My next one, coming across to pasta. My one is the edamame pasta. It's in Coles and Woolworths. It's not as expensive as these. Coles and the edamame pasta is not Coles brand, but it's edamame pasta. It's in a green box. I do have a photo of it. 2-3 times a week. It's got, again, 14, 15 grams worth of protein, zilch carbs. It's got hardly anything in it. You can eat it every single night of the week. Again, is it going to be as nice as my pasta out at Beccafino's or something like that? Probably not, but it's going to help me lose weight. Simple swap. Peanut butter, going from my crunchy to light or less fat. It's got a little bit more carbs, but because my fats are lower, it's able to be lower calories because my calories are more per gram than my carbs are. Same amount of protein, less protein, but I've got 16 calories less just in swapping my peanut butter. No changes, just going from a peanut butter to a light. I can be able to make those changes and make those swaps. My biggest one for me, it's just what I eat, the wraps, the edamame pasta, and the Fountain, both barbecue and tomato sauce. They're big, massive differences that are going to help you swap. The hard thing now is putting this into practice. We've probably already got half a jar of this at home or this of pasta. It's making those clear decisions to go, I need to look at what are those key things I eat every day and where I can make those swaps and changes. If you can input even half those things into your MyFitnessPal and have a bit of a better understanding, you will lose weight. There's no other way around it. If you're not, we probably need to go get you to see a doctor because there might be an issue, either thyroid, might be premenopausal or menopausal for the women. That's going to have an impact as well. Outside of that, it is just a maths equation. The more you can understand that, the better off you're going to be long-term in losing weight and those changes. This is long-term. For me, I don't drink beers Monday to Thursday. Then I can drink as many beers as I like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That for me is that control of being like, all right, I'm really good with my diet. I still train Saturday, Sunday every week, but it allows me to make small swaps here, still drink alcohol and enjoy myself, still go to the pub, still eat a burger, but I'm watching and making those changes throughout the week to allow me to do that. As I keep repeating, you do this short term, it's lifelong that you can make these quick, easy snapshot decisions. Bang, yep, shit. Yep, that's a bit better than that. Bang, next. And it might be you have to struggle through it a little bit. I don't like this. I don't enjoy it. Taking a little bit longer at the shops, scanning a few things, Googling it before. Me and Eli available anytime you want throughout class. If you're like, Nick, I always eat X, promise you'll probably know something or the brand that's going to work around. So utilize us as much as you can. Any questions on that or anything that you guys eat that you'd be like, hey, is there anything better to swap off the top of your head? Because probably someone else is thinking the same thing.
I like cooking with butter. We don't have eggs in the morning or olive oil. What's a good swap there? It's not coconut oil.
Doesn't taste good, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An organic one. I can't remember the brand.
Oh.
It's like with butters, you've got butter spreads and then real butter. So
Yeah,
butter
that's the
spreads
one.
tend to be way more.
Calories.
So you get to make sure you're getting real butter.
Yeah.
Is that bad though? Cooking with butter or?
No, not at all.
Oh, really?
But butter and oil are both fat. So it's probably just having a look at what that looks like. I would be going, how much butter am I putting in? And just having a rough gauge of that so you can eyeball it. So let's say, do you use a knife to throw it in?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm just going to get you to swap to a teaspoon. See what it looks like on a teaspoon. A teaspoon is roughly going to be 5 grams, give or take. I might be able to try that and just see how that goes. All right. Well, I'm going from a big thing with a knife to change it to a butter. I might even just weigh that just once to eyeball it, see what it's like. Next time you're at the shops, just grab 2 or 3 butters and just go, all right, that's got 8 grams of fat. That's got 12. I'm just going to try that one for a little bit, see how you go on that. Just
And
my
olive oil? Is that high in calories as well?
huge, probably the most out of everything. Massively. If you're WOG and have a lot of olive oil on your salads, there'll be 18 liters of olive oil. Olive oil is so high in fat, and it's deceiving because you actually don't think you're going on. You put olive oil into a teaspoon and you put that on a salad, there's nothing there. It's very high. Again, not saying you can't eat it, but if I do that, and then I'm going to have my salad, but before that I've had my cheese, I've had my wine, all of a sudden I'm eating all these fats, quite dense in calories. I'm having biscuits, and then I'm going to gain weight. So
For me, I wouldn't get that peanut butter because it's got all the extra bits. So I prefer the 100%. It's got like meld of texture.
yeah, you go so it might be just having a look at what peanut butter you go from there. All the fillers.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's like.
No, perfect. So then you go have a look, and it might be, do you know what? Peanut butter for me might not be one of the things I'm swapping. Sweet. Great. Perfect. And that just for you might not be that one thing. It doesn't have to be everything in your life that you have to swap. Do you know what? You may love having a Tim Tam every night before bed. Perfect. Sweet. What can we change though throughout that, and have a look at what is the swap I need to make throughout? For a lot of us, it's probably going to be alcohol, of just thinking that we had 1 glass of wine at night or 1 beer. No one's having 1 glass of wine. Or if it is, it's not 250 ml, I think whatever the serving size is. I promise you it's over. There's a little top up, or your partner's like, do you want another one? Oh yeah, chuck another one. It's never one, and it's understanding that that's probably where my calories are coming from. It's going to be quite dense in that. Might just be having a look at a few different ones. My biggest one was going no alcohol Monday to Thursday. That I think everyone's going, oh, I had a hard day at work. Probably all been in your jobs for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. It's probably the same as yesterday, probably the same as the other day. Don't get me wrong, someone probably pissed you off, but I can sort of come home and be like, hey, I'm an adult. I don't need to get a sticker for going to work today. I can not have a drink today. That habit forms. Beautiful. Thursday, awesome. Friday night's there, bang. Footy's on for me, bang. Beer, that's me. Perfect. I have my haircut every Friday. I have a beer at the hairdresser. Perfect. That's what I like to do.
Missed yesterday, mate.
No, mate, beautiful. Look at that, mate. I was turning this off. Thank you, guys.